So hopefully I got your attention and you're at video 2 now. And so video 2 is really about what has hurt you. And so if you're in conflict, you're usually hurt and you need to identify the hurt. And if there's messages in there that maybe you've heard all your life, or whether you believe them or not, maybe you feel like they're just negative projections onto you, like ways to control you. And is there things that you need to sort of remind yourself that that is just going into your own generalized criticism about yourself. But to lead yourself out of that, let's look at some of what Gottman has talked about in terms of the four horsemen. And in the four horsemen, he talks about when people start responding to negative dynamics and relationship and what they do with it. So I want you to test yourself here and see how you do in this test and whether you fall into one of the categories. So listen carefully. So the first one is criticism. So something happens with somebody and you just generally criticize their personality. So it'd be like, you are so lazy, you're so selfish. You know, one of our agreements was that you would do the dishes and you don't help at all. And there it is, right? It's the person that has nowhere to go because you just criticized their personality. So how might you do that differently? So the biggest universal message is use I statements instead of you statements. Use statements tend to blame the person. I statements is you're taking responsibility and you're talking about your own feelings. And no one can say, oh, your feelings are wrong. Well, they can, but part of it is that you're taking more responsibility. Like I feel really let down that we had this agreement, you know, that you would do the dishes and they're not done. And I just wish that you would do your part so that I don't feel overwhelmed in the morning when I'm getting ready to go to work. And there's the I statement. So what would happen after that? It depends. It depends a lot on your tone and it depends on what he calls a gentle startup. Then you would say, hey, can I talk to you about something that really bothers me? And I feel really let down because we had an agreement of how the kitchen was going to be kept in the morning. And it really stresses me out when I have to do the dishes or I see them there in the sink. So can we keep our agreements? Because that would really help me feel like you understand what it's like for me to get ready in the morning. There it is, right? There's a solution. There's some criticism that you're giving, but you're giving it in a way of constructive feedback. So the person can do something and you're not yelling at them. You're not in conflict with them.